Welcome to Melbourne, Australia's cultural heartbeat and the city that refuses to sit still. This is where laneways pulse with street art, where trams rattle past Victorian arcades, and where coffee is poured with the devotion of a sacred ritual. Melbourne sprawls along the northern banks of Port Phillip Bay, kissed by the Yarra River and framed by distant blue hills. It's diverse, daring, and deliciously laid back. A city that crowned itself the world's most livable for 7 years running. Built on gold rush dreams and immigrant stories, Melbourne thrives on creativity, sport, and soul. Getting around is iconic. The Free City Circle tram loops through the grid, while the full network fans out like spokes. Ride the 96 from Brunswick to St Kilda for a slice of local life. Artists in the north, beachgoers in the south. But the true Melbourne way is on foot. Duck into hidden arcades, cross graffiti-splashed alleys, and discover a bar behind an unmarked door. Melbourne is green to its core. The Royal Botanic Gardens stretch 38 hectares beside the Yarra, home to 8,500 plant species and black swans gliding on ornamental lakes. In summer, locals picnic under Moreton Bay figs. In winter, the city's 70,000 street trees turn gold and crimson. Start your journey in Federation Square, the angular, mosaic-clad hub where the city converges. Opposite rises Flinders Street Station, its yellow facade and green dome, a postcard icon since 1854. Step inside to see the famous clocks still dictating commuter lives. Cross the river to South Bank, where the promenade glitters with fire displays at dusk. Grab fish and chips from a riverside kiosk, then walk to the Arts Centre spire, a beacon of theatre, ballet, and live music glowing against the skyline. Stroll into the Block Arcade, a 1892 masterpiece of mosaic floors and glass ceilings. Pause at the Hopetoun tea rooms for a high tea of scones and lamingtons. From here, dive into Melbourne's laneways. Hosier Lane drips with ever-changing murals. AC/DC Lane honours the rock gods, and Centre Place hums with tiny cafes serving flat whites strong enough to wake the dead. Next, make your way to the Queen Victoria Market, Melbourne's beating heart since 1878. Over 600 stalls spill with fresh seafood, artisanal cheeses, and the sing-song calls of spruikers. Tuesday nights bring food trucks and live bands. Sundays mean donuts hot from the American Donut kitchen van. Continue to the State Library, Victoria, a grand 1856 temple of knowledge. Stand beneath the soaring La Trobe Reading Room dome, then visit the Ned Kelly exhibit. His armour tells the story of Australia's most infamous bushranger. Art is everywhere. The National Gallery of Victoria, NGV, houses Australia's oldest and largest collection. Walk through Indigenous paintings, colonial masterpieces, and the famous water wall that cascades over the entrance. Across the river, ACMI celebrates moving image, from classic cinema to video games. For sporting soul, head to the Melbourne Cricket Ground, the MCG. This coliseum seats 100,000 and hosts cricket in summer, AFL footy in winter. Take a tour to walk the hallowed turf where legends were made, then visit the National Sports Museum inside. In St Kilda, the beach suburb, palm trees sway above Luna Park's grinning gate. Ride the 1912 Scenic Railway roller coaster, then walk the pier to spot little penguins waddling home at dusk. Sunday brings the Esplanade Market, where buskers and artisans line the shore. For nature in the city, escape to the Royal Botanic Gardens or Fitzroy Gardens. Visit Captain Cook's cottage, transported brick by brick from England in 1934. In spring, the gardens explode with jacarandas. In autumn, elms form golden tunnels. Venture to Abbotsford Convent, a former 1860s nunnery reborn as a creative precinct. Bakeries, galleries and riverside lawns host yoga at sunrise and jazz at sunset. Nearby, Collingwood's Smith Street pulses with vintage shops, dive bars and rooftop cinemas. For something wild, take the tram to Melbourne Zoo. See Australian natives, kangaroos, koalas, platypus, then walk the treetop boardwalk above Asian elephants. At night, the zoo hosts roar and snore sleepovers under the stars. Melbourne's food scene is a global love letter. Start with a brunch of smashed arvo on sourdough at Hardware Societe, where queues form before doors open. For dinner, Chinatown's alleys hide dumpling houses and neon-lit barbecue joints. Try Pellegrini's for espresso and nonna-style pasta since 1954. Coffee is non-negotiable. Melbourne's baristas are world champions. Order a Magic double ristretto with steamed milk at Market Lane, or a picnic, filter coffee in a jar, at Proud Mary. The city claims to have invented the flat white, and every suburb has its own third-wave cafe. Markets are paradise. South Melbourne Market serves legendary dim sims. Prahran Market overflows with truffles and heirloom tomatoes. For fine dining, Attica ranks among the world's best. Native ingredients like emu and finger lime tell Australia's story on a plate. Melbourne is surrounded by beauty. Take the train to the Dandenong Ranges, 1 hour east. Ride the Puffing Billy steam train through fern gullies, then hike to lookouts where lyrebirds mimic chainsaws. Stop at a Devonshire tea house for scones slathered in jam and cream. Another easy escape is the Mornington Peninsula. Drive the coastal road to hot springs, wineries, and Peninsula Hot Springs, geothermal pools steaming above the bush. Swim at sheltered bays where colourful beach boxes line the sand, or head to the Great Ocean Road. The 12 Apostles rise like ancient sentinels 2 hours west. Watch the sun set over limestone stacks, then spot koalas in the Otway rainforest. Back in the city, end your trip at a rooftop bar, Curtin House, or rooftop at QT. The skyline sparkles, trams trace golden lines below, and the Yarra reflects 1,000 lights. Sip a craft gin with native botanicals as bats flock overhead in the twilight. Melbourne isn't just a city, it's a mood. It's the hiss of a coffee machine at 7 a.m, the roar of 90,000 fans at the MCG, the scent of eucalyptus after rain. It's a place where creativity is currency, diversity is destiny, and every day feels like a festival. When you leave, you'll carry its spark with you, because once you've tasted Melbourne's rhythm, you'll understand why it's not just a destination, it's a way of seeing the world. Thanks so much for joining our journey through Melbourne. If you loved this adventure, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next trip. See you soon.